Hi, welcome or welcome back. My name is Yu Ouyang. You can call me Yu Win or Win. I'm really happy to share this time and space with you here. And so, what I like to do to start each video is I like to share a practice. And so, the practice that I wanted to share with you is after I go into a space with other people. So sometimes I do this after I go into a training. I can do this before I go into a physical space for training as well. Maybe after I've met up with someone in a public space, if I am feeling the energy kind of swirling around me, and I don't want to take it with me, then before I leave the space, I imagine gathering up energetic cords around my abdomen or specifically my solar plexus, which is a couple of inches above the navel. I imagine gathering up all the energy cords that aren't mine. And instead of cutting, um, I like to imagine that I'm pulling them out from my solar plexus and then pulling them out to release them into the universe, to give it to the universe to transmute and transform, so that I don't have to carry that energy with me. So, even if I had a nice, lovely exchange with a friend, maybe the energy of the people around there, I also don't want to carry that energy with me. I don't want to take those pieces with me. I want to leave them with my friend and anybody else whose energy I might have picked up on. So, something for you in case you're sensitive to energy. Um, and yeah, just for your consideration, a possible tool for your toolbox. And so for today, I am just wanting to talk a little bit about doing versus being. And I mentioned it in a video where I was talking about society's blueprint or checklist and sort of the things that we're sort of expected to do, um, go to school, get a good job, buy a house. And I likened a lot of that to things that you do or things that you have. And so I was reminded this morning when I was doing a guided meditation, it was encouraging me to sort of sit and tune in to my energy and my body, and then to try to find a way to elevate my energy. I was talking about not having to do, but to be. And so I had a couple of other reminders as I went throughout my day. And I know it's really difficult because a lot of our worth or value is tied to what we do, right? We work in a job, in a business, in jobs, in side hustles, whatever combination you're doing. And that time and effort gives us money. So it's like you're being paid for what a company, a client sees as your worth or your value to them. And so, because of that, and because work becomes a really big part of our lives and our identities, it's really easy to feel like the two are tied. And it's really a lot. It's a lot to fathom, and it's a lot to carry. And so, there are moments, seasons, days, um, where maybe your capacity to give is limited, right? Yesterday's video, I was really tired. I'm actually, again, feeling very low energetically. And I didn't, it was one of the first times I didn't want to record a video. And I had to think about, okay, what was the goal that I intended for myself for this 90-day for this 90-day challenge. And it was to speak my truth and to see what comes out of these videos. What lessons will I glean? What dots will I connect, right? And I had to do what I needed to do to be able to gather up some energy so that I could record this video. But I think it's important to note that depending on how you want to believe, depending on what thought you want to have over and over again, you can continue to have the one that's built into our modern day society around your worth being tied to what you do and how you perform and productivity, or a different perspective. And the perspective I want to offer, and you may have already heard it, is that inherently you have worth and you have value. Inherently, because you exist, you are valuable. You are worthy. You are important. Not for what you do for your friends, not for how many clients you bring in, but that in your essence, in your existence, there is worth and there's value. And sometimes it's really hard to consider a different perspective. I know, and one of the biggest things that's been helpful for me on my journey is learning about and hearing even the possibility that beliefs don't have to stay with me, right? I think for most, if not in my entire life, I thought that beliefs were something you picked up and they just stayed with you, right? But then as I was learning the art of allowing from Esther Hicks, or from Abraham through Esther Hicks, they spoke about in order to grow and evolve, you have to be willing to let go of beliefs, right? So you have to be able to shed. And, there are beliefs that I have taken on because of other people believing it and projecting it onto me. And then me not questioning the thought and then taking it on and thinking it as well. And when I learned this idea about shedding beliefs in order to grow, there was just a part of me that was ready to say, I would rather grow than hold on to these beliefs. And it does come with learning to let go and to make space for new things to come in, right? So when I think of a belief, when I identify a belief that I don't feel is relevant for me anymore, or that it has been limiting me and I want a different possibility, I try to come up with a new belief that can take its place, or maybe just to get me through a period of time where I don't fall back onto the old belief, right? And so this has been critical for my mindset shifts over the last year and 10 months. So I just want to offer one, the possibility. What if your worth and value are not tied to your productivity or what you do? And two, are you willing to meet with, identify your beliefs, and find more aligned beliefs in order to move forward and grow? That's what I want to offer today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being curious. I hope that wherever you are in the world, in time, whenever you are, I hope that you know, and if you don't know, that you will soon come to believe that who you are exactly as you are is worthy and deserving of unconditional love. I look forward to next time. Until then, please take good care. Okay, bye bye.